It's just 8 minutes. Next, a mother's fight to prevent the suffering that she's had to bear. When Fiona Paddon gave birth to her son Edward, she believed that she'd been carrying a healthy baby boy. However, just 9 days later, Edward died from a preventable bacterial infection caused by Group B Streptococcus. She's had unknowingly passed it to him at birth, and she is now campaigning to get all pregnant women tested for Strep B. Next week, she's heading to Downing Street after her petition gained 200,000 signatures and still counting. Fiona joins me now. I was saying to you upstairs, this is a tough call. You have been through terrible pain and anguish,
yes,
but you've come out fighting. Why?
Because I think primarily Edward's death was preventable. I never even heard of Strep B before I gave birth, and I think that's absolutely lamentable. There's no reason why information couldn't be given to pregnant mothers to at least be able to make a choice about whether they wish to have the test to know whether their child is in danger of catching it.
And as you went through the whole process of the pregnancy, and particularly the last bit, and
yeah,
I've been there as a witness a few times, not actually been through it myself, there are tons and tons of tests. And am I right in saying that basically what you want to do is say, add this one to it?
Absolutely. There are a lot of tests that are carried out, and they're all very important. But the key here is that Strep B is actually preventable. Many of the tests that you have when you're pregnant are for conditions which unfortunately you can't do anything about because the baby either has them or they don't. But in the case of Strep B, if you have the test, very cheap antibiotics can be given to you whilst in labour that in almost every single case would prevent the infection in the baby.
OK. You're a tough cookie.
Thank you.
You're taking it to the Prime Minister. What
Yes.
do you know, if I was David Cameron for a brief, unimaginable moment, what would you actually say eyeball to him?
I would say to him that he can't allow this to continue. I know the NHS has many conflicting things that it needs to pay for, but this should be at the top of his list. It's 50 babies die every year because of this, and many others are left permanently disabled. The test, as I understand it, costs £11. Something needs to change. Nothing. The present regime we have has been in place for 10 years and it's not working, so we need to change it now.
And that 200,000, which will be the strength that you go with under your arm, is still building?
Yes, I understand it's gone up to 207,000.
I suspect it'll be a few more than that
I certainly
after
hope
this
so.
conversation.
Thank you.
It's great to see you.
Thanks.
And thank you for coming in. And finally, council workers in Italy have been caught, sometimes quite literally, with their trousers down, after CCTV footage emerged of them clocking into work momentarily before heading to the beach or even back to bed. Investigators found that they would spend their working days shopping, catching up with friends and swimming at the beach rather than at their desks. Sharon Thomas has investigated.
Turning up for work in your pants is never really advisable, especially if you're just clocking in and heading back to bed, and then doing the same the next day, like this security guard. And it seems that most of them are at it. Up to 3/4 of council employees in San Remo were secretly filmed punching their own cards and those of friends, and then skipping work for the day. One man bunked off at least 80 times in a matter of months, heading out onto the famous Italian Riviera in his boat.